from Jarna Hector. Welcome to the weekend edition of National Focus. Coming up on National Focus, Youth Division awards over 300 youth volunteers. Parliamentarians have 14 days to present presidential nominees, and Youth Minister implores young people to embrace opportunities. Stay with us as we bring you details of these stories and more when National Focus returns. Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. Minister for Sports and Youth Affairs, Honorable Justina Charles, advises Dominica's young people to take advantage of the many opportunities made available by the government of Dominica. Honorable Charles was speaking at an appreciation ceremony Friday morning when she said that right now there are many prospects being offered by the Dominica government that were not available in times past.
Embrace every opportunity that is there for you. I always say at youth functions that never before did we have those opportunities that are now available. Our young persons are very, very fortunate, and so you need to embrace those opportunities.
Minister Charles also implored youth not to be distracted during studies, but to be role models.
When you are assisted to go to school, you make the best of it. Do not allow yourselves to be distracted by what you see, by what you hear, and fall in the cracks. Because later it will be too late, and sometimes you will regret many of the things that happen. I think it's best that persons laugh at you now, and in the end, they stop and ask, if only I had followed her, I would have been different. Be a role model out there.
And Minister for Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment, Honorable Ambrose George, believes that through expert financial management of Dominica's resources, the current administration has been successful in keeping Dominica's economy afloat.
Amidst those challenges, the government has been able, through very prudent fiscal management, prudent financial management of the resources of the country, we have been able to keep Dominica above water, or keep our heads above water. And I believe that we have to compliment the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, who is the head of the government, for his efforts in keeping us in that state of our heads being above water.
The minister also expressed his confidence in the country's leader, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, and his cabinet members. According to the Prime Minister's budget address presented last month, despite economic setbacks, government remains focused and committed to advancing sectoral strategies for growth as well as strategies for poverty reduction and social protection. Meanwhile, parliamentarians have 14 days to provide nominees for the post of President of Dominica. The announcement was made by Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Alex Boyd Knight, during an emergency meeting of Parliament on Friday. One nomination is expected from Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, another from the Leader of the Opposition, and one from a group of 3 parliamentarians.
I have summoned this meeting because I received a letter from the Honorable Prime Minister, which I shall read for you. The letter is dated August 21st, 2012, and reads as follows. Dear Madam Speaker, His Excellency the President, Dr. J.O.N. Liverpool, having indicated his intention to vacate the office of the President, I have to inform you that following consultation between the Leader of the Opposition and myself, we have been unable to agree on a joint nomination of a candidate for election as President. Please be guided accordingly. Duly signed by the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit.
The Speaker sought to further explain the matter by quoting Section 19.1 of Dominica's Constitution.
Whenever the office of President is vacant, or the term of office of the President is due to expire within not more than 90 days, the Prime Minister shall consult with the Leader of the Opposition as to their joint nomination of a suitable candidate for election as President. And 19.2 says, if the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition submit to the Speaker by writing under their hands a joint nomination of a candidate for elections as President, to which that candidate has consented, the Speaker shall inform the House of the nomination and declare that candidate to have been duly elected without putting the question to the vote. And 19.3 says, and this is what is relevant here, if the Prime Minister is unable to agree with the Leader of the Opposition as to their joint nomination of a candidate for election as President, he shall notify the Speaker to that effect, and the Speaker shall inform the House accordingly. It is this subsection of Section 19 which has triggered this urgent meeting where I have summoned you today to let you know effectively that the Leader of the Opposition and the Prime Minister, not having agreed on a joint nominee, I am advising you all of same now.
Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, in an interview with GIS News following this morning's sitting of Parliament, announced that Eliud Williams is government's nominee for the office of President. Williams is a former permanent secretary who has worked in the public service for decades.
He's also worked at Hector and has been the chairman and member of various statutory boards across Dominica, and also has been involved in the private sector. We believe that Mr. Williams is a highly qualified individual, and as I indicated at previous occasions, we did not get the support of the Leader of the Opposition to have a joint nominee. So therefore the government will write to the Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly indicating our candidate for the post of President of Dominica.
The Dominica leader explained that the matter before Parliament refers directly to the remainder of the term of His Excellency President Nicholas Liverpool, whose term officially ends in September 2013. The Constitution, the Prime Minister explained, never made provisions for the current situation where sitting President intends to resign.
There is a doctrine of necessity which allows for a particular process to go through, and we are now adopting the process of as if, to some extent the post has come vacant by virtue of the end of a term. So only to say that we're not going through the 90-day period as required, because it is an emergency situation, and that's why one cannot rely on Section 28 of the Constitution, because Section 28 of the Constitution deals with specifically an acting president. Section 28A deals with acting president. So the question of Section 28 does not arise. Because we're not talking about an acting president. We're talking about somebody to be the President of Dominica. And because Section 28 deals with illness, or if the President is out of state, or if the President has been suspended for whatever reason. Neither of these three has a reason. What we're talking about is a resignation of the President. And therefore you need somebody to fill the post. And what we've been trying to avoid is to be in a situation where the country would wake up one morning or go to bed one night without having a head of state. And that is unacceptable, and the government has tried everything to avoid this. And this is where we are, and so the announcement today by the Speaker was to indicate that a vacancy intends to come up, and that should be inviting nominations. So on the date of the election, we will have the President possibly resigning and the installation of the President at the same time, at the same day.
In more news, over 300 volunteers of the Youth Development Division's Summer Day Camp program were publicly and officially applauded on Friday at an appreciation ceremony. The event was held at the Arawak House of Culture, where officials of the Youth Division and co-facilitator the Cooperative Division gathered with the participants to mark the end of the summer-long activity. Since 2012 is declared the International Year of Cooperatives, the theme of the venture was encouraging volunteerism and entrepreneurship through cooperatives. The prevailing idea throughout the ceremony was youth development through volunteering, and Chief Youth Development Officer Jules Pascal made a point of encouraging the public to appreciate the efforts of young people.
Their contributions help to make the country what it is. Can you imagine if the young people of this country do not get involved, do not participate, do not show and play an active role in anything positive, what this country would be like? So you really need to be congratulated on the efforts that you have made throughout the summer and that you will continue to make throughout your lives.
Pascal noted that one way of appreciating youths is to create an atmosphere that allows for their development.
There is a need for us to provide a more enabling environment. And we at the Youth Development Division, for 30 years, we have been engaged in a program like this. We have sought to create the base for the rest of the country that people will recognize that young people can make a meaningful contribution, not only to their lives, but to the life of their community and to the life of the country. And so we are saying that as a means of fostering innovation in the social sector, as a means of filling the gaps that exist in programming in various organizations and institutions, we need to build on the existing programs like this one. We want to encourage organizations, we want to encourage institutions around Dominica to take a leaf out of this program and create the enabling environment for our young people to be able to participate meaningfully in their community development, in their country's development.
Youth Minister Honorable Justina Charles addressed the ceremony, stating that she followed the activities of the summer day camp with interest, and she was satisfied that Dominica's youth are involved in uplifting activities. Honorable Charles said that the island should take note when young people do positive things.
Without the young people, I wonder where the nation would be. Because while persons sit and criticize our young persons, I look at culture, which is under my department, and very often the independence celebration is soon going to begin. And when you look through the independence celebration, basically it is dominated by our young persons. You look at sports, it is dominated by our young persons. And well, you know youth, you are engaged in everything. I want to say that your role in our development of this country is critical. And I must applaud you because in spite of what has been said, we have some positive young persons, many positive young persons outside there, and doing positive things.
Minister Charles urged the public to highlight more of the constructive efforts of youth.
We can promote more of the positive things. And very often when the positive things happen, we do not hear about it.
The youth minister encouraged young persons not to be disheartened by negative comments, but to rise to their full potential.
Do not allow yourself to be distracted by the negative things that are being said outside there. Remain focused, set your goals, and work towards achieving those goals because you have that potential.
Manager of the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited, McDowell Paul, was the featured speaker, and his word of advice to the young volunteers was to aim to become leaders of cooperatives on the island.
I will say that it is my hope that among you, this distinguished group of young Dominicans, young men and women, will emerge entrepreneurs, leaders, and most of all, managers, so much needed in the cooperative movement all around Dominica.
According to the Youth Development Division, the objective of the summer day camp was to present to youth a variety of opportunities to develop themselves and to experience the value of volunteerism and entrepreneurship, as well as the advantages of being involved in cooperative ventures. And that's the English segment of the news. We now join Marcus in St. Louis for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est Marcus in St. Louis. Premièrement, le Parlement Dominique joint en session, on a discuté musique pour mettre en place pour sélection candidat pour nomination président neuf pour pays là. Tout ça prend place à fait où la présidence Excellency Dr. Nicholas Liverpool et puis Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt qui est pratiqué à de opposition pour finir terme l'office Neflé qui est supposé venir au bout de septembre l'année là. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt te joint et puis chef opposition Honorable Hector John sinon loi paix là tient une discussion pour te d'accord assez au monde pour remplacer président Liverpool. Quand même meeting ça là pas taper bagaille positive ça fait où la speaker du parlement Honorable Alex Boyd Knight tenu à accueillir session discuter situation là. Quand même sinon parole qui sorti aujourd'hui Speaker Boyd Knight dit qu'il accepte nomination du gouvernement et puis opposition pour candidat taper position ça là. Speaker Boyd Knight dit nomination supposée rentrer en 14 jours. Après ça, il y a une session parlement où la candidat qui tape majorité vote en parlement qui tape position comme président neuf pour la Dominique. En autre nouvelle, plusieurs occasions qui ont engagé en business en Dominique qui participé en Shop Business Dominica Weekend Salon. L'occasion qui participé qui servi Weekend Salon où là il y a baissé prix à ces marchandises il y a vendre par public là. Activité là organisée par Association Industry and Commerce, Association Hotel et puis Discover Dominic Authority. C'est leur parole qui sortit. Ils ont encouragé les Dominicains à dépenser l'argent dans cela. Quand même, c'est leur parole à Association Commerce à Dominic D et IC Lillian Piper. Ils ont gardé l'initiative qui pour motivation publique là pour l'avantage. Ils ont aussi promoté l'initiative là. La place pays français venir ici gagner marchandises pendant le spectacle salam. Discover Dominic Authority qui a gardé l'initiative salam qu'on yon qui aide et puis activité économique. Plus que yon sans l'occasion business à Dominique qui a participé en activité week-end salam. Yon qui aussi fait un vendement salam tous les l'année. En autre nouvelle, plusieurs produits dans différentes communautés North pays là qui a aussi l'occasion de display pour Creole in the North l'année salam. C'est l'officier comité qui a organisé, Venice Belloni, spectacle ça là qui est bien formidable et puis il a demandé tout le monde pour participer.
Nous expectons pour tout produit dans chaque village. Yo ke showcase yo et pour tout le monde Dominique savent sans nous produit because nous tant monde qui ka produit autant bitin but yo pas ka vendre yo because yo pas ka mettre yo pour monde voir ça yo ka fait ce jour là ça nous expecter pour tout le monde ni venir préparer et tout ça yo ka fait avec l'âme yo avec fruits nous ni Dominique avec tout local dishes cuisine nous Dominique et nous que showcase et que vendre dans font l'argent pour eux même quand mon place nous ka venir aux aller yo ni quelque chose nous ka dit tout le monde descend à Indian River Glenville 4 novembre l'année ça là.
Et puis finalement ministre santé honorable Julius Timothy qui a fait parole qu'ils a fait au la jeunesse qui a engagé ko a yo fumer drogue marijuana c'est bagay qui autant dangereux. Ministre Timothy a aussi fait parole que problème salam qu'à la cautionner ces jeunesses là par une pièce respect pour autorité à pays là et de itini grand monde qui a collaboré et puis influencer ces jeunesses là quoi qui ça pas une pièce problème mais ça même qu'a mettre ces jeunesses là en risque et puis la vie ailleurs. Ministre Timothy fait parole que c'est responsabilité grand monde indiquer jeunesse contre danger servir drogue et spécialement marijuana. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est Marcus St. Louis. Ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Up next is the tip of the day.
Let your spirit take to flight. Let your heart run free and wild. Find your soul in Dominica, the nature isle.
Today we are talking about self-confidence, and one way to build self-confidence is to realize that failure or being wrong will not kill you. One man said, "I quit being afraid when my first venture failed and the sky didn't fall." When you face your fear, it is only then that you discover the thing that billions of people throughout history have discovered before you. That failure will not kill you, nor will being wrong. The sky will not fall down. That's just what people that haven't faced their fears yet think. The thing is to reframe failure from being something that makes your legs shake to something useful and important for the growth of your self-confidence. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm, or you could visit our GIS Dominica page on YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thanks for watching.